Sometimes people don't deny what happened. Instead, they explain why it wasn't really their fault. Anyone would have done the same thing. I had no choice. If they hadn't done that first, none of this would have happened. This is called blame shifting, and it shows up in everyday conversations all the time. I'm Steve Van Apren, often known as the human lie detector, and on this channel I explain how truth and deception actually show up in real conversations. In this episode, we'll talk about why people shift blame when it's completely normal and when it quietly reveals discomfort with responsibility. If you enjoy clear, practical explanations, like the video and subscribe before we start. Blame shifting is when someone moves responsibility away from themselves and onto someone else or something else. It can sound subtle. Sometimes it's blaming another person. Sometimes it's blaming circumstances, pressure, stress, or timing. And to be clear, blame shifting isn't always deceptive. People naturally explain context, but there's a difference between explaining circumstances and avoiding responsibility. Truthful people usually acknowledge their role, even if they explain why something happened. Avoidance often sounds like justification without ownership. Blame shifting becomes meaningful when responsibility never lands anywhere. Every explanation points outward. Other people, bad timing, stress, or misunderstandings are always at fault. Truthful accounts usually include some ownership, even when the situation was difficult. Deceptive or defensive accounts often focus on why the person shouldn't be held accountable. A helpful approach is gentle curiosity. What part do you think you played in that? Looking back, what would you have done differently? Truthful people usually reflect. Avoidance often redirects again. As always, you're listening for patterns, not a single sentence. So here's the takeaway. Explaining context is normal. Avoiding responsibility is informative. Blame shifting doesn't prove deception, but it does tell you where someone feels uncomfortable owning their role. If this episode helped you listen more carefully, like the video and subscribe to the channel. In the next episode, we'll talk about why people sometimes sound rehearsed and how to tell the difference between preparation and fabrication. Remember, good deception detection isn't about catching people out. It's about understanding how people explain themselves.